All right, we've done adding, we've done subtracting, we've done multiplying. Today, we're going to divide. That's your goal, along with today's date and page number, and then we'll move on. 6 problems for you today, all dividing. Surprising, since we're doing division. Well, not really surprising. All right, I'm done talking. Do your best. And these are the answers you should have gotten for the first 6. Hopefully they weren't too difficult. Let's move on now that our brains are working, or at least I hope they're working, and we're going to make them work a little harder. So we're going to divide. Let's take a look at Mona. Actually, that's not the name there. Mona is a biologist studying an endangered species of wombat, the Australian wombat. Each year she records the change in the wombat population. So in the first year, she saw a change of -2. Second year, she saw a change of -5. Third year, she saw a change of only -1. And then fourth year, she saw a change of -4. Are we dealing with integers here that are positive and negative? You betcha. So, one way to describe the change in a wombat's population over time is to try to find that mean of the data. So we could add up all those negative numbers, -2, -5, -1, -4. Since they all have the same sign, you just keep making them more negative. That gets you 12, -12. Now, to find the average or mean of something, you divide it by how many numbers you have, which is 4. And -12 divided by 4 is going to give you an answer. Well, we follow the same rule as we did with multiplication. If the signs are different, we're going to have a negative result. If the signs are positive, or the same, we're going to have a positive result. Well, here when we do -12 divided by 4, we find out we get 3, or actually -3. So what does that tell us? On average each year, the Australian wombat population is going down by 3. So we can use this scenario to kind of work through and make sure we know how to divide integers as we move forward. Nothing needs to be written down yet. Okay, so multiplication and division are both inverse operations. So to solve one, you can do the same operation to solve the other inversely. So remember, if, as the example we did for finding the mean, you add up everything and then divide by how many there are. That's just a reminder of what we did in the last problem. Again, nothing needs to be written down yet. This, though, needs to be written down. So go ahead and include the box with the dividing integers. So again, if the signs are the same, the quotient is positive. If the signs are different, the quotient will be negative. 0 divided by any integer is always going to equal 0. And remember, you cannot divide by 0. So your 0 will never be in the denominator part of a fraction or a division problem. Have this written down before moving on. All right, so following the same rule, signs the same or positive, signs different negative, let's work through these. So here we have 30 divided by 6. Well, one of them is negative, so the rule you need to remember is, since they're opposite signs, -30 divided by 6 would be -5. Now remember, 6, 5, and 30 all work as a fact family. That you could do 6 times 5 to get 30, or 5 times 6 to get 30. And if you divided 30 by either of them, you get the other. It's no different with negatives, you just have that negative symbol. Now for B, we have -42 divided by -7. It's the same as thinking of them as both being positive since they share the same sign. So 7 goes into 42 6 times, and because they're the same, it's a positive 6. Write these down if you want in your notes as having some good examples. Here's 2 more we can look at. You can write them down if you want, you don't have to. This time we have -15 divided by 5, opposite signs, so your answer is going to be negative, and 5 goes into 15 3 times. -36 divided by -6, both are negative, so it's positive, and 6 goes into 36 6 times. Hopefully you're catching on to the pattern here. Now it's time for you to do 4 of your own. So here I wrote them a little differently with the division, but I used a slanted fraction bar to write all of these. Okay, that's the solidus, and you can go ahead and try to figure out what the answer is. Good luck. So these are the answers you should have gotten. For 1 and 3, they both had the same signs. Number 1, they were both positive, so it's going to be positive. Number 3, they're both negative, but the same sign, so it's a positive 3. For 2 and 4, one of the numbers was negative, one was positive, so since they couldn't agree, it's a negative result. Hopefully I got the same answers here for practice 1 that I did. All right, in practice 2, or example 2, we're going to look at how you can evaluate with expressions that have variables, and if you plug and chug, what are you going to get, positive or negative? So we have d divided by 4. So what does d equal? Well, in this example, d equals 16. So 16 divided by 4, all you got to do is plug and chug. You know that that's 4. They're both positive. Let's go a little more challenging this time. Now we're going to do d divided by 4, but this time we're going to plug and chug negative 24 in for 4. Now you should know that 4 times 6 gets you 24. So 24 divided by 4 is going to give you 6, but one's positive and one's negative, so it's a negative 6 because the signs don't agree. Here's one more to look at. We have negative 12 being plugged in for d over 4. You'll notice one's positive, one's negative, so your answer is going to have to be a negative answer, and 4 goes into 12 3 times. Hopefully you're catching on here. Let's do another one here of c equals negative 15. So plug negative 15 in for c. How many times does 3 go into 15? You know that to be 5, but is it positive or negative? Hopefully you were thinking negative, since one's a positive number and one's a negative number. All right, we have 4 problems up there. I want you to evaluate m divided by 2, and there are 4 different numbers to plug and chug in for m. Good luck. Here are the results of the 4 problems. For numbers 5 and 7, they had opposite signs, so they had to be negative. For 6, they were both positive, so it's positive. And for 8, they're both positive, so it's positive. Hopefully you did really well there. All right, you have 2 problems for your box of thought. Take your time, write them out, and make sure you have full sentences and full thoughts, and then box them off. Here is your quiz. You got 7 problems, and all of them have to do with dividing. Surprise, surprise. Good luck answering these. All right, so that's it for today's lesson. We only have one more left for this chapter. We'll see you next time. Good job today.